Three bows to the teacher.
Right.
Hey,
There is anyone. Oh, sorry.
good.
Sorry for my and just a moment, we'll get started.
Can excuse me, I would like to say something to Nico. Nico, ¿me puedes leer si hay preguntas? Estás en Facebook, ¿me puedes leer las preguntas que se hagan de ese app por el chat? Me las envía por el chat, aquí a Zoom. ¿Es posible?
Ya miro, venerable.
Gracias.
Okay. All right, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to celebrate Dhammadharani Monastery and this opportunity to receive the 3 refuges and 5 precepts offered by our Venerable Ayya Marajina Theri. Bienvenidos a todos. Estoy muy feliz a ver todos los.
Your microphone isn't working, Ayya.
How about now? Okay, let me start again then. Sorry about that. Good morning, all, and welcome to our Vesak Day celebration here at Dhammadharani Monastery. Welcome especially to Ayya Marajina Theri, who will be leading us in a special program today. The opportunity to undertake the Refuges and Precepts for the first time or for who knows how many times. Welcome to all. Bienvenidos especialmente a los participantes de Cuba y otros países hispanohablantes. Estoy muy feliz de ver todos aquí. Bienvenidos. So, with that, I will, yes, to explain to those who are our regular participants, Ayya Marajina Theri is a bhikkhuni who ordained here at Dhammadharani Monastery with our preceptor Ayya Tataloka. She is now based in Florida, and she is of Cuban origin and is a native speaker of both English and Spanish, and has been doing outreach to Cuba and other Spanish-speaking countries, and has invited a number of her students here to join us in undertaking the Refuges and Precepts for the first time this morning. So we'll have a little bit of Spanish here also, but I know she's already given the main teachings in Spanish and will mostly be English this program. But anyway, Anumodana, welcome. I'm very happy to see you, and I'll let you take it from here. And let me know when you want me to screen share anything.
Thank you, Venerable Kachayana. Can everyone hear my voice? Yes. So, a little disclaimer at the very beginning, we're having a storm right outside the window, and yesterday the electric went out. It went out for like 20-30 minutes. So if suddenly the screen goes black, you know why. Hopefully it won't. But we've been having sort of a dry spell, so the rain is very welcome. So let's begin. And I've invited my students we have students from Cuba, not in the Zoom chat, but they're in the Facebook and the YouTube. chats, and we have students from Mexico, from Venezuela, from Colombia, probably from Peru. Yes, I think from Peru. And they might ask questions also because our program a little while ago was interrupted. We were in the Dhammasala, and with the metal roof, the rain, we couldn't hear very well. So we were interrupted and didn't finish. So please be patient with us. I will translate all of the questions that are given in Spanish. I'll translate them in English, and I'll interpret them in both languages so that we're all hearing what this is about. We're all listening. Okay, so I want to start with a verse from the Dhammapada verse 165. Evil is done by oneself. By oneself is one defiled. Evil is left undone by oneself. By oneself is one purified. Purity and impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another. At the beginning of many suttas, when the Blessed One addressed the monks, they would respond with Venerable Sir, and he would continue with Tang Sunata Sadhukang Manasi Karota Basi Samiti, which, translated by Bhante Sujato, is listen and apply your mind well. Listening involves striving to pay attention, to understand. It's not enough to hear the words. The benefit of listening is understanding. Listen with the intention of understanding so that you can put the teachings into practice. This is what it means to apply the mind well. When we begin to put the Dhamma into practice, we do not yet have a penetrating knowledge of the Buddha's teachings, but one can listen with the understanding that they will learn if the intention is to learn. What we think we know right now will change. It'll expand. It'll deepen. And it leads to wisdom. We will also change if we listen with the intention of understanding, because the Dhamma changes us from the inside out. We listen with an open mind, understanding that what we know now is based on conceptual knowledge. And we listen and apply our mind to experience what is beyond conceptual knowledge. There are 5 benefits of hearing the Dhamma. One hears what one has not heard before. One clarifies what one has heard before. One gets rid of doubt. One's views become straight. The mind becomes serene. This is a good gauge. If you're listening to the Dhamma and you're getting riled up instead of calmed down, this is a good gauge. Where's the mind going? What are the sensations? So the path begins with taking refuge. Is anybody here first time refuge taker? Tamara? Sad? Anyone else? I don't see anyone else. My screen is limited. So the path begins with taking refuge in the 3 jewels. The 3 jewels are the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the noble Sangha. Reflecting on the qualities of the triple gem strengthens our confidence because we associate ourselves with outstanding qualities. We foster the intention to rise from a worldly existence where killing, stealing, sexual transgressions, and lies are commonplace. We align ourselves with our own best potential by aligning ourselves with the very best in humanity. The Buddha wasn't a god. He was entirely human, a human of perfect wisdom and compassion, the best in humanity and in all the realms of existence. Among the many sublime qualities of a Buddha, 9 stand out. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho bija charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Such indeed is the Blessed One, the Arhat, the self-awakened one, perfect in knowledge and conduct, well gone, knower of the worlds, unsurpassed trainer of minds fit to be tamed, teacher of gods and humans, awakened, exalted among us. There was no Noble Eightfold Path. It had been lost between the Buddhas. A Buddha only arises in the world once the Dhamma, the whole teaching, has disappeared. So there are, the world is plunged into darkness, and darkness signifying ignorance. The Buddha awakens to that ancient path that has been awakened to by previous Buddhas. Our Buddha Gautama wasn't the first Buddha, won't be the last. Thank goodness. In case we need a little bit more time. So he awakened by himself. We are treading the path that he provided, he cleared for us. We're following his instructions. So when we awaken thanks to the Buddha. But he had no such teacher. And that's why he's a Sammasambuddha, self-awakened Buddha. Even in the suttas, even the devas went to visit the Buddha for advice, for suggestions with their questions. So a heavenly existence is very pleasant. It's very long. There's a lot of nice things there to enjoy ourselves with, but it's temporary. And sooner or later, we enter this wheel of becoming, which we have already transversed by beginningless, or from a beginning that's not discernible. So it's been a long time. Let's just say long time. The Dhamma is the teaching of a Buddha. It's a universal law. It's the law of nature. It's not a religion. Capitalized with a capital D, it signifies the teachings of the Buddha. When you see it with a lowercase, it means just things, just things. It's a system of training the mind to see and understand beyond our conceptual framework in this worldly existence. So we're training the mind. 6 qualities of the Dhamma stand out. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanayiko Pachatang Veditabo Vinyuhiti. Well spoken is the Dhamma by the Blessed One, meaning he used the perfect words, the perfect phrasing for that particular audience, for that particular person asking the question. He spoke so that applying the mind just a little bit, it could be understood. Visible here and now. It's nature. We're nature. It's not somewhere else. We're not aspiring for a different rebirth. It's here and now. Visible, timeless. And I've heard 2 really impelling definitions for akaliko. One is that the Dhamma is not born; it does not die. It's nature, so it's always fresh, always accessible, fresh. And there's also the very good explanation that it's immediate. So we don't have to wait until we die to figure out if we got a good rebirth or not. You'll know you practice, you experience here now. Inviting one to come and see. The Buddha often used the word ehi for some of the very original, very first ordinations, for bhikkhunis also. Ehi, come. And the Dhamma invites us to come, see. We get a little glimpse of it, and it's like, wow, let's try it. I don't want to try this. Let's do this a little bit more. So it's a very inviting teaching. And it leads onwards, just like you know, if you've ever been in a river or pulled along by an ocean current, you don't have to paddle. You just kind of float along. And this is how it is in the Noble Eightfold Path. You follow the teachings and it pulls you along. To be experienced by the wise, each one for oneself. So there you have it. It's up to you. It's up to us. This is our experience, our training, our effort. The Sangha is the realized community of the Buddha's disciples. Though we use the word Sangha to refer to a group of people studying Buddhism together and or embarking on projects together, the Noble Sangha is the community that preserved the Dhamma as a living teaching through their own study, practice, and realization of one of the four fruits of the path. There are 9 qualities of the Sangha that stand out. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho, ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho, nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho, samicchipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho, yarirang chattari purisa yugani yatta purisa pugala, esa bhagavato savaka sangho, ahuneyo pahuneyo, dakingeyo anjali karaniyo, anuttarang punya ketang lokasati. The order of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing well. The order of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing uprightly. The order of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing correctly. The order of the Blessed One's disciples is practicing the right way. That is the 4 pairs of persons, the 8 individuals. This order of the Blessed One's disciples is worthy of offerings, worthy of hospitality, worthy of gifts, worthy of reverential salutation, a supreme field of merit for the world. So the 4 pairs of persons they coincide with the 4 attainments in the Noble Eightfold Path. The Sotapanna, which has broken the fetter of self-view, and of course has eliminated all doubt because, well, they've experienced this for themselves. That was that last quality of the Dhamma, to be experienced by the wise, each one for oneself. And also, they get rid of doubt. I mean, they don't pay attention more to the rituals of salvation that we have in our culture. And in the time of the Buddha, there was like, and I think still in India, bathing in the river, the Ganges River, or we have baptism. And in the South, where I'm at right now, there's the belief that if you're baptized, you're saved. And so there's, no effort on one's own part. And this was also a belief in the Buddha's times. The Brahmins believed that by birth they were noble. So once this has been experienced for oneself, you know that it's your own effort, your own training that takes you from the not beyond to the beyond. And then after the second attainment is Sakadagami. where all that irritation and greed kind of attenuates, and you don't have that anymore as strongly. You're not believing your thoughts so much anymore. Anagami is the third fruit, and there's no more rebirth in the sensual realm after that. And then Arhat. Well, conceit, restlessness, this still goes on to Arhat. Ignorance still goes on. And desires for becoming or for not becoming still go on, so that they're cut at the fourth fruit, the Arhat. And then in those individuals, they're the path between. At first, the first individual, the faith follower or the wisdom follower, is guaranteed to attain Sotapati before death, or at the very end, at the moment of death. Between Sotapanna and Sakadagami, there's the third individual who's practicing for Sakadagami. Then the fifth individual is practicing for Anagami. And the seventh individual is practicing for Arhat. So these are the supreme field of merit for the world. And it's thanks to these practices that the world hasn't fallen completely into decadence. We're on our way, aren't we? But we still have noble individuals in the world. The practice of purifying morality begins with 5 basic precepts that are voluntarily taken as guides to train the mind in order to allow the work of meditation development, of bhavana. Precept is the English rendering for the Pali composite Sika Padang, from Sika, which is training, and Pada, which is like a path. It can be understood as the way of training. In Pali, the rule is contextualized in Veramani Sika Padang Samadhiyami. Samadhiyami is the first person singular of Samadhiyati, which means to personally undertake. We personally, individually undertake the training and put forth the effort in our own life, developing the discipline so we can live among those who don't keep the precepts. Veramani has the root ram, which means to stop, to abstain. Veramani is to abstain from. So far we have, I undertake the training rule to abstain from. And there are 5 training rules. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. They're called training rules because undertaken, their purpose is training the mind in virtuous conduct, the middle division of the Noble Eightfold Path, Sila. The middle division of Sila is based on fidelity to the 5 precepts, and it expands into the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. The 5 basic precepts not only fulfill the division of Sila, they support Samasankapo, right intention. They can be understood as fulfilling right intention in a preliminary sense. Keeping the 5 precepts when it's not harming, harmlessness, one is cultivating goodwill and developing renunciation. The first precept is Panatipata Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami. We've discussed what Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami mean. Panatipata is from Pana, which means breath, and Atipata, which means kill. Panatipata means to destroy a living, breathing being. The full precept is, I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking life. This precept includes all breathing beings, not just humans. I mean, humans is very bad. And the effect of that cause is likewise something you don't want to experience. But the precept is killing any being. This is part of samakamanto, right action. So you see how The 5 precepts, the more we practice and understand and apply, they will encompass the entire middle division of the Noble Eightfold Path. The second precept is Adina Dana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhyami. Adina is not given, not offered, and Adana is taking. Adina Dana is taking what is not given, as in stealing. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking what is not given. The third precept is Kamesu Michachara Veramani Sikapadang Samadhyami. I undertake the training rule to abstain from sensual misconduct. So in many places you'll hear, I undertake the training rule to abstain from sexual misconduct. And I believe that the interpretation for Dhammadharini Monastery is abstaining from sexual misconduct. It's abstaining from sexual behavior with a person who does not or cannot give their consent, even if they do give their consent, like married people. You may not be married, but they are. So they cannot give their consent. People with vows of celibacy. Of course, there are those who can't give their consent, as in minors or the developmentally differently abled or animals. In terms of sensual conduct, it means sensual pleasures that cause harm and can include what is marketed as legal entertainment. Legality and morality are not so closely related. The key word in the fourth precept is musawada. I undertake the training rule to abstain from false speech. Again, I believe in the Dhammadharini Monastery precepts. There's also false speech and divisive speech. Is it, Venerable?
Harmful speech.
Harmful speech.
Yeah.
Very good. Musawada literally means wrong speech, as in lying. It can be extended to encompass every factor of samavacha, right speech, which are abstaining from false speech, abstaining from divisive speech, abstaining from harsh speech, abstaining from idle chatter. So I like harmful speech. It's a good inclusion. The direction of every precept is the same direction of the division of morality in the Noble Eightfold Path, and by extension, the direction of the Noble Eightfold Path itself. As we have seen with right intention above, the purification of morality, and morality is the seed for the division of samadhi, or mental unification, which is the basis for experiential understanding of the Four Noble Truths, the division of panya, or wisdom, with the goal of the third path factor, cessation. You can undertake right speech as a whole, or you can undertake the abstention of false speech. This is up to you and your teacher. But it all goes the same way, so you're good. However you start, just follow the current. It moves along. The fifth precept is the only one of the 5 which the Buddha created. The previous 4 precepts were already established in ancient India at the time. The Buddha added the 5th one to protect previous 4, because intoxication leads to heedlessness. And this is explicitly stated in the 5th precept. I undertake the training rule to abstain from alcohol, which leads to heedlessness. It explicitly mentions alcohol, sura ameraya, Majapamadatana, distilled or fermented liquor or liquors or wine. But because the emphasis is not the emphasis is on being negligent, is on not being negligent. Abstention in this precept includes drugs, whether street drugs or homemade drugs, plants, legal or illegal substances, or prescription drugs that are abused. Today, still more than 2,500 years after the parinibbana of the Gautama Buddha, there are among us disciples of the Buddha who have cultivated by their own effort the Noble Eightfold Path and understood the Four Noble Truths with penetrating insight. They form the Noble Sangha, which in turn helps others to study, practice, and realize the teachings. So this isn't about some occult, magical wisdom. This is about purifying the mind. And we are very fortunate that we can follow the good example that the Buddha left. I mean, how many tomes? I think there's over 40 tomes of the Dhamma Vinaya. We have the instruction, and the instruction is to purify the mind because we ourselves commit the evil. And we ourselves right now can see the effects of causes and the causes which can become effects. And the training involves purifying. For some reason, it's much harder to be with wholesome mental habits than it is to be with unwholesome mental habits. So we have to train in these wholesome mental habits to make them habits, customary habits, where the mind just automatically leans in that direction. So Sila is the very beginning, but it's not like an exclusive training. While we are developing, cultivating our morality, we can also cultivate samadhi, the division of samadhi, which includes right effort. And you can see how right effort really, I mean, doesn't it become very necessary to use right effort to understand and follow our precepts? So they're all kind of like, together, not isolated in parts where you have to perfect morality before you continue. You're developing insight as we go along. Every time that you choose what is wholesome, you're aligning yourself with the noblest intentions possible in humanity. You're aligning yourself with the Noble Eightfold Path. Every time you choose unskillful behavior, you're distancing yourself and you're creating causes which will invite effects that will hinder your progress in the Noble Eightfold Path. I invite you to look at this, to see this within your own life. Sometimes it's easier to start with other people. We don't, feel so comfortable looking within yet, but we will. So start how you can, but follow the precepts. Take joy that we do have this training, and you'll see how it works. So I'm going to open up for questions right now. Let's maintain our questions regarding either refuge or precepts so that we can, in a little while, as soon as those questions are satisfied, we can take the refuge and precepts. Any questions? Nicolás, si hay preguntas en español en Facebook, me lo puede... ¿Hay alguien mirando a YouTube? Is anybody watching YouTube that can copy and paste? Thank you.
Yes, no questions on YouTube yet.
Okay, thank you, Venerable. Ángel, yes.
Hi, I had a question from the last session. I was wondering if you can develop a more explanation of how Sama Sankappa is generated by the cultivation of sila. I wanted to understand that distinction between the cultivation of sila and the development of posterior paña. Thank you very much.
Those are a lot of questions, Ángel. Dime la primera en español.
Me gustaría saber cómo desarrolla, usted mencionó que Sama Sankappa, que es el pensamiento o intención correcta, cómo esto se desarrolla a raíz del cultivo de sila, ¿no? El cultivo de los 5 preceptos.
Thank you.
Sobre todo entendiendo eso como parte, ¿no?
Sí. Okay, so Ángel is asking how does the 5 precepts strengthen Samasankappa, which is right intention, how following the 5 precepts can fortify the division of wisdom. So Samasankappa, right intention, is the intention of harmlessness, the intention of goodwill, and the intention of renunciation. And so if you look at the precepts, you're seeing harmlessness. We become harmless to other creatures. Other creatures can trust us that we're not going to kill them, that we're not going to steal from them, that we're not going to take their partner or their child, that we're not going to deceive them, and that we're not going to be so intoxicated that we just kind of forget what we're supposed to be doing. So that division of sila is how one complies with right intention, and they're mutually strengthening. Ángel, entonces en español te lo digo, que en sila uno está cuidando de no dañar, de no lastimar a los demás, que es como el primer precepto de abstenerse de matar. No estamos robando, que es el segundo precepto. No estamos involucrados en relaciones que dañan a otras personas o tratando de engañar. Y cuidamos de no estar intoxicados para poder proteger los primeros 4 preceptos. Y entonces Samasankappa es no dañar, no lastimar, es tener buena voluntad y es la renuncia. Así que con estos preceptos puedes ver que son mutuos, que uno no es tan diferente del otro, pero que necesitamos las reglas para empezar, para decir 1, 2, 3, 4 y 5, en vez de no lastimar. ¿Y cuál fue la segunda pregunta?
No, era sobre todo esa explicación más profunda, porque eso, la relación entre cómo se cultiva paña, ya me quedó claro, ¿no? Es a través de la intención.
So that was a good answer. Madeline, I see your hand up. Excuse me, Venerable Kachayana, when should we start the precepts? I don't know what time.
Let's see, what time is it? I think maybe you could have another 5 minutes for questions, and then we can go for the precepts.
Okay, thank you. Madeline, please.
Thank you, Ayya. I've done something to my screen and I don't think I can see. But my question is there any way we can know with any certainty that we have achieved stream entry?
Well, there's the mirror of the Dhamma, that you pay attention to your intentions, and there's a way of observing your own actions that sort of they're a mirror. They're a mirror for you. Now, as far as I know, the fruit of stream entry is not something that you can miss. It's a very noticeable, observable moment of path and of fruit. And it can happen. I know that it can happen whether one is on the cushion or off the cushion. But you ask yourself, how are you keeping your precepts? Is it something that the noble ones would take comfort in? You ask yourself, do I still have any doubt? Do I doubt any of the teachings still? You know that it's by your own effort. So you have stopped. There's tools for meditation, right? We burn candles, we light incense, we sweep the floor. These are all like tools to bring the mind to focus. So we're doing these ritualistic things, but it's not that we believe like, you drop your dollar and you light your candle and you're good, right? Or, you go visit Bodh Gaya and, you light incense there and it's good, right? You know that it's your own effort that has brought you to that point. And it's not something that's easily mistakable. So that question sometimes implies that we haven't reached that point yet. Or it could be that one is just looking for security because it might be really weird. It might be like a strange occurrence. But you change, and you'll notice you change, and you will lean toward the wholesome. And then, you can write me and tell me about it.
Thank you, Ayya.
One more question. Tamara, yes.
Thank you. This is my first time taking the precepts, and so I have a question about the first one. I have a couple of dogs, and so how does the no killing like I have to remove ticks. So yeah, I'm just wondering if I'd be breaking the precept when I did that.
You're not breaking the precept until you kill the tick. And so I have 5 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I catch ticks on. I just caught one on me this morning from just being outside. And so I just take the tick and put it outside. I protect the dogs with topical medications. And that is not the intention. And I may be incorrect. And any of the venerables, please interject and stop me. But my intention is to protect my dogs from Lyme disease. And so they're wearing topical prevention methods. And that is not directly killing, but that does involve killing. So it's just, if you really live with that precept for a long time, you will notice that it's very difficult to keep it. If you're gardening, it's very difficult. The soil is filled with living creatures. It's like a whole connection system of creatures and contacts. And so it's very, very difficult. We do our best. We do our best with the intention, right intention. Here we go back to Sama Sankapo, to be harmless, to have goodwill. But we are in a physical plane. And there's a lot that just kind of cross paths, and we have to, at some point, understand that our own practice is very precious as well. And so we don't wish for harm for any being, but we can't allow our own health. There's a famous story about a monk that allowed hundreds of mosquitoes to, feast on his blood to feed the mosquitoes. I believe the monk got very seriously ill and then maybe even passed away because of that. So, that's not the right intention. You have to use a little bit of wisdom to be harmless, but still be able to protect your very precious practice.
Thank you.
And somebody, if I have said something that's incorrect, please. Oh, there's a question from Facebook, Mariela. El Buda me está brindando claridad en lo aprendido y reafirmando en la vía que busco con las... Gracias, Mariela. So that's not a question. The Buddha is offering me clarity in the learned and reaffirming the path that I seek with the teachings of Bhikkhunya Ayya Marajina. Thank you. Okay, Mariela. Okay, so if there are no more questions, and I'm very happy to continue answering questions after this. I can if somebody can put my email on the chat, or I will. So Venerable Kachayana, if you can oh, Sangamita. One moment. Sometimes cockroach comes flying from window. I caught and throw in running water. Is it a sin? As cockroach not die, but I feel something I'm doing wrong. Well, would you like somebody to grab you and throw you into running water? Cockroaches have feelings. They have perception. They pay attention. They have one-pointedness. They breathe. So we're not talking about sins. Sin is a concept. We're talking about cause and effect, basically. So we have this higher aspiration to not harm because we ourselves don't like to be harmed. So if a cockroach flies through the window, then, gently escort it back outside. It doesn't want to be in your house. Believe me, it's confused. It got confused. It's all, let it go. Take it outside. Don't make it suffer. It's hard to be a cockroach. Don't add to the suffering. Okay. Okay, now we can share the screen.
Okay, just a moment. Let me pull that up. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so we can do this in Pali, and then read just one time. You're repeating the same thing. Dutiyampi is second time, Tatiyampi is third time. So you're repeating the same thing. So we just read the one in English so that you're clear on what you're asking. So you may go ahead.
Okay. For some of the other slides, I do have some Spanish also. Just I didn't find time to translate this one.
Oh, okay. I might have that. Well, I'll just interpret it on the wing. Let's go. You can turn on your audios and begin.
Okay, maybe I could read it. I can be the leader of the group here. So if others have not done it before. So others can say along with me. I think if we have everyone's audio on, it will sound very garbled. So
Oh,
sometimes we do with just one person as the leader, and others can have their sound off and but be saying it along at home. Does that sound all right? Okay. So the group can start by bowing.
no, too.
So, Mayang aye tisaranena saha panchasilani yachama dutiyampi mayang aye tisaranena saha panchasilani yachama tatiyampi mayang aye tisaranena saha panchasilani yachama. We, Venerable, request the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. For the second time, we, Venerable, request the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. For the third time, Venerable, we request the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. Would you like to say in Spanish?
Sadhu. Nosotros, venerables, pedimos los 3 refugios y los 5 preceptos. Por segunda vez, nosotros, venerable, pedimos los 3 refugios y los 5 preceptos. Por tercera vez, nosotros, venerable, pedimos los 3 refugios y los 5 preceptos. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Others can chant with me.
Blessed one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One.
Homenaje al sublime, al arahant, al perfectamente iluminado. Homenaje al sublime, al arahant, al perfectamente iluminado. Homenaje al sublime, al arahant, al perfectamente iluminado. Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami. To the Buddha, I go for refuge. To the Dhamma, I go for refuge. To the Sangha, I go for refuge.
Voy por refugio al Buda, al Dhamma y al Sangha 3 veces. Voy por refugio al Buda, al Dhamma y al Sangha. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami. For the second time, to the Buddha I go for refuge. For the second time, to the Dhamma I go for refuge. For the second time, to the Sangha I go for refuge.
Una segunda vez voy por refugio al Buda, al Dhamma y al Sangha. Se dice 3 veces.
So the third time, or shall we?
Tatyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. For the third time, to the Buddha I go for refuge. For the third time, to the Dhamma I go for refuge. For the third time, to the Sangha I go for refuge.
Una tercera vez voy por refugio al Buda, al Dhamma y al Sangha 3 veces. Tisarana gamanang nititang.
Ayya. Yes, Venerable.
Panatipata veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking the life of any living creature.
Asumo el precepto de la abstención de matar seres vivientes. Adinadana veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given.
Asumo el precepto de la abstención de tomar lo que no se ha dado. Kamesu michachara veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Kame sumichachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Asumo el
I
precepto de la abstención de la mala conducta sexual.
undertake the precept to refrain from sexual misconduct.
Musawada veramani sikapadang samadhiyami.
Musawada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from false and harmful speech.
Asumo el precepto de la abstención del lenguaje falso y dañino. Surameraya Majjapamadhatana Veramani Sikapadang Samadhiyami.
Suramereya majjapamadhatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from consuming intoxicating drink and drugs which lead to carelessness.
Asumo el precepto de la abstención de intoxicantes que conducen a la desatención. Imani Pancha Sikapadani Silena Sugatingyanti Silena Bhogasampada Silena Nibutingyanti Tasma Silang Visodaye.
These are the 5 precepts. Virtue is the source of happiness. Virtue is the source of true wealth. Virtue is the source of peacefulness. Therefore, let virtue be purified. ¿En español?
Estos son los 5 preceptos. Con moralidad la felicidad se logra. Con moralidad las riquezas se logran. Con moralidad la paz se logra. Así que purifique la moralidad.
Satu, satu, satu. Then can bow one more time. 3 more times. Yes.
Well, I believe that might conclude our program.
All right. Well, one more comment is we want to be able to give certificates of this receiving the precepts for those who would like to have a certificate with their name. And if you can, what is the method? Yes, we'll let Venerable Tavira, who is arranging the certificates, explain what she needs to have happen if you would like to have her certificate.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, work out our microphones. So I have many people who've registered, and I'm trying to make sure that people are actually here that have actually participated if we're going to send them a certificate. So if you're registered on the Zoom with something other than your full name, if you could put your name in the chat so that we know that you're here. And for those who are on Facebook or YouTube, if you can also put your names in the chat there so that we know that you're here and we can send you a certificate. And if you would like a physical certificate mailed to you, if you can email us your mailing address, that would be great. And request translation, please. Ayya Marajina.
Si han registrado por un certificado, entonces por favor dejen saber que han participado hoy. Si pueden buscar en los chats adicionales, si no está aquí en Zoom, veo a Ángel y a Aarón aquí, a Nicolás. Y los demás que no pueda ver, por favor, o envíen sus nombres al monasterio Dhamma Dharini, donde registraron la primera vez. Y también si quieren un certificado imprimido, pueden pedirlo en ese momento. Los que están en Facebook o en YouTube, por favor, dejen los nombres escritos de alguna forma para saber que han asistido hoy al programa.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Anumodana. Much appreciation to Ayya Marajina. Thank you very much. Gracias a todos. Y felicitaciones. Congratulations. It's your first time. And congratulations even if it's not your first time. I think
And happy Mother's Day to all the mother beings. And we've all been mother beings. So happy Mother's Day to all of you.
yes, happy
Thank
Mother's Day, happy Vesak, and
Thank you.
thank you all for being with us.
Blessing.
Thank you.
Okay, and yes,
Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu. Hello.
then if there are more questions, Ayya Marajina has put her email in the chat, and people can follow up with her there. Okay, so we'll close now.